Hey guys, it's Adam from Kiser. You know I used to be a model maker in the film industry, and I've talked extensively on the site about the term kit bashing, which is to take pieces of model kits and use them to add detail and scale and scope to models that you're making for the film industry. And it was one of the best parts about working at Industrial Light and Magic. But when I say kit bashing, you're just picturing the kind of the model kits of your youth, and you're thinking about the spray of those parts across a ship. I wanted to make it more concrete. And so I broke out a classic that I have in my collection. This kit, the Hasegawa 172 Anzio Annie. This specific kit has so many beautiful, high quality, versatile parts and pieces on it that I guarantee you that there is at least one part from this kit on nearly every Star Wars ship ever made. Even including the new Star Wars films, because I know that at Industrial Light and Magic, they've scanned some of these parts trees to use some of these pieces as digital detailing on the digital models. Even though people aren't physically building ships anymore, they're still using these greeblies. By the way, greeblie is a term of art. It was George Lucas's term for the little nurnies that go on a ship. And the Greeblie of greeblies is on this parts tree right here from the Anzio Annie. The castings on this, the tooling is just gorgeous. There's no flash on these Hasegawa kits. They're ready to go, ready to use right out of the box. Especially this one right here. This little dome with 4 pips in its corners and one on one edge, it's such a useful part. That dome means that if you give it a gloss coat, it kicks a little bit of light. It draws a little bit of detail. It adds a little bit of scale. And it adds scale in almost any scale you could work in. I've used this on a garbage truck that was 1/10 scale. I've also used it on the Hero City and Topoka City in episode 2, which was probably like 1/3500 scale, and it still worked just fine. We use these in Space Cowboys. And on Space Cowboys, actually, we made a miniature that they ended up building in full scale in Los Angeles, and they replicated this Greeblie. This Greeblie is so universally used, it is called the Universal Greeblie. And thus, there are friends of mine who refuse to ever put it on another model. I appreciate that. But regard the Universal Greeblie and see for yourself what kit bashing is all about.
We've actually molded these.
Really?
Well, so on a mold table in a mold shop, if you need a ton of extra greeblies, because there's only 12 of these in a kit, and you might do a detail and you're going to need 50. So you just glue a bunch of these to a piece of styrene, put it in the mold room, they pour a silicone blanket on it, and then they would have it on the mold table. And every time they pour resin, they pour a little bit on this piece. And so you end up with buckets. I have buckets full of greeblies up there from the ILM mold department.